Gregory S. Neal, in the article The Meaning of Atheism, states the following. Atheism is the belief that God does not exist. On page 3 of the same article, Greg Neal also asserts that the difference between a lack of belief and a positive assertion that something does not exist is semantic nonsense. According to this sign, the members of the Katoomba Baptist Church have stated that atheism is the belief that nothing made everything. If you've been on the internet for any extended period of time, you've probably seen this, a poster that says atheism is the belief that there was nothing, and then nothing happened to the nothing, and so on. The entire thing is a collection of lies and strawman fallacies loosely based on cosmology and biology. You may have also seen this, a sign by a well-meaning self-defined atheist that replaces all the lies in the previous poster with a much more accurate description of current knowledge of cosmology and biology. Unfortunately, this description is also quite wrong. And this brings us to the second of the lies Christians tell and why they tell them. The lie, neatly summed up, is this: atheism is a belief, and a lack of belief is the same as a belief. But here are the facts. There is a huge difference between a lack of belief in something and a positive assertion of its non-existence. Everyone knows this, even Christians. Take, for example, Smurfs. I don't believe Smurfs exist, neither do you. However, I make no assertion about the non-existence of Smurfs. I don't tell people that I know Smurfs don't exist, although I don't believe that they do, because I've never seen any evidence that they do. That's a lack of belief in Smurfs. All rational people do the same thing. Even if you're a Christian, you probably do the same thing, at least concerning Smurfs, fairies, and the other 34,000 gods that man has dreamt up over the millennia. An active assertion that Smurfs do not exist would involve saying that you know that Smurfs don't exist, and can back up your claim that Smurfs don't exist with evidence that Smurfs don't exist. Very few people claim this about anything, including Smurfs, fairies, and your God. This is because evidence of non-existence doesn't make sense, which is also why no rational person structures their beliefs that way. No rational people believe in things because they can't prove that those things don't exist. If they did that, they'd have to believe in all kinds of unsubstantiated idiocy, including Smurfs, fairies, and gods, because you can't prove that any of them don't exist. Rational people believe in things because they can positively assert that they do exist. And if you can't positively assert that something does exist, then rational people don't believe in it. And that includes Smurfs, fairies, and your God. So the truth is that atheism is not a belief, but a lack of belief in any gods. And a lack of belief and a belief are not the same thing. Everyone knows this about some things. To their credit, even some Christian groups acknowledge this difference. A surprising level of honesty for Christians. Even Greg Neal understands this difference when it concerns fairies, Smurfs, and the other 34,000 gods. He pretends not to understand it concerning his own God. Why would Christians lie about the distinction between a belief and a lack of belief? Simple. Christians like to believe in God, for whatever reason. But not because there's a single shred of evidence that God exists, because there isn't. They don't like admitting this. It makes it obvious that they're believing things that are probably not true. So they avoid, as much as they can, ever having to give any evidence to support their beliefs. One way to do this is to flip the burden of proof. If they can posit atheism as a belief instead of a lack of belief, they can pretend that people who don't believe in gods have to justify their non-belief. And they can pretend that they don't have to justify their belief in God, when in reality, they do. Of course, this is blatant hypocrisy, because they don't play by those rules when it comes to advertising, or Smurfs, or fairies, or any of the other gods. Only when it concerns their God. They employ this double standard as a means of pretending that believing in God is as rational as not believing in God, when in reality, believing in any gods is about as rational as believing in Smurfs. If you know of a lie that Christians like to tell, please send me a message with that lie and I'll make a video about it. Other than that, please rate the video, subscribe, and wait for more. There's more coming.